Strata of atonement. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. Evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. Nikaya 3 Refuges. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. Mahayana Refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers. For the lineage of teachers before them, I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened. May their vows be completely realized. And may I cultivate these perfections with their guidance. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion. May all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred. Being close to some and distant from others, how wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness and the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from suffering and the causes of suffering. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Please stand and turn to page 6.
But this absorbing world sounds awake.
passion, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just compassion, thus a pure heart always rejoices. In the light recall this, in the dark recall this, moment after moment the true heart arises. Time after time there is nothing but infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. All that is and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We offer this sincere and devoted practice for the many beings of the 6 worlds, and dedicate it in grateful thanks to the strength and sound practice of the great Heartland Sangha and its teachers. May our virtuous actions be cleared from all interferences, and may our vows be fully realized. We especially dedicate these merits to all those who suffer as a result of injustices, calamity, cruelty, and war. And to Reverends we say, Taylor, Christy, Griffin, Chris, John, Charles, Stephen, Reverend Eugen, Laverne, Roger, and Evan, may they have peace and healing. And to Soke, Steve, Jasmine, Wesley, Nancy, Jerry, Becky, and Karen at the time of their death. And to those we hold in the silence of our hearts, and those names we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. Please prepare for Zaza. recite the Sangha Covenant on page 8 of your liturgy books. We, the Taishin Kokuji Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the wisdom and compassion we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated for this morning's talk. Face so that you and the teacher can see each other. In a moment, we'll recite the Gatha on opening the sutra on that same page.
So good morning, everybody. In our daily liturgy, we invoke the line, "This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly." You know, I think if someone were to visit here and this was to be their only encounter with the Dharma in this lifetime, and they got even the first half of that, it would be worth it. It would be beneficial. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Let that much land. This precious human life is not referring to someone who's won the lottery, someone who's got good looks that won't quit. Hint, they will. It's not someone who has the dream job or the vacation home or whatever. They rock harder than you. No, dear one. The preciousness of your life is exactly just as your life is right now. I know there are challenges and there are difficulties and the world is on fire. And our world may be on fire, or components of it. I understand. All the more, let the Dharma permeate this precious human life, your precious human life. This means you. This means me. Even this means your nemesis, your antagonist. Even that, even them. What a strange world we live in, that one wildly out of balance ego can cause wars. Oh wait, that's another day in society's history. It's just the scale of it now. This precious human life, rarely encountered. One of the analogies that I think is so fantastic from the Mahayana Sutras, imagine that there's all the oceans of the world, okay? And in all the oceans of the world, there's let's be generous and call it a hula hoop, but really it's about half the size of a hula hoop, okay? And it's floating somewhere on all the oceans of the world, randomly. And also imagine on this world, there's a turtle. And once every, let's give it 1,000 years, the turtle pops its head up for air, because it's a holding its breath specialist turtle. And so once every 1,000 years, the turtle's head pops up on one of the places in the ocean, and the odds of that turtle's head going through that little half hula hoop are greater than the odds of you existing in this human form. Oh, my life. Oh, your life. Oh, your life. You're alive. Oh. Can you feel it? If you can, you're alive. I know it's painful, but it's life. Yeah? Start with that. Let that land, please. How much time do we spend under this delusion that the action is somewhere else, that you have to be someone else, that you... Oh, for God's sake, on the cosmic scale, are you serious right now? Yeah, the ego is. The ego is willing to trade your life for this ridiculous facade of importance. I think much of Zen training has to do with waking up to this bad deal and saying, no, thank you. What riches do you offer? One swipe at a time. What amusements are worth my life? One instant of my life? Be careful. Do not idly trade your breaths, for they are not infinite. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. You've already won the incredible evolutionary cosmic lottery. Here you are. Seriously, what are the odds? Of all the possible Homo sapiens that could have, well, that Homo sapiens exist at all, we'll start with that. But of all the possible combinations of DNA that exist, let's say, it's not infinite, it's pretty huge. You won, you're here. Oh, but my knee. But my nose, I wish it was shaped a little more this as opposed to a little more that. I know I'm making a little bit light of it, but honestly, the further you zoom out, the more ridiculous these things become. And I think in a very real way, Zen training has to do with knowing how to zoom the hell out, man. Zoom out. Why? Why do you allow yourself to, the manure is on the trail, and you go and you rub your nose in it. Oh, this is so shitty, I can't stand it. Then you walk around, everything smells bad. Quit sticking your nose in the poo. Clean off, bro. The thing is, it's very tricky because you see, when you're in a realm of delusion and craving, that manure smells sweet. It seems like nutrient. It is not, but it seems so. And this life is easily lost. As rare as it is to have, you're guaranteed to die. And let's not trade in wishful thinking fantasies, shall we? Let's just land in the moment as we can actually know it. Now that I have life and therefore opportunity. And notice it doesn't say, therefore I have life with all the auspicious causes and conditions of time, position, place, and degree completely lined up so that all is perfect, and now I can practice. You have the criteria met. If you can hear these words, if you can feel the heat and cold, if you can sweat and shiver and ache, you're qualified. Congratulations. Now that you have life and therefore you have opportunity, may you practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. All the other games are run by the casino, and the house always wins, okay? You know, they pump a little extra oxygen in there, there's flashy lights, there's sexy dancing and supposedly good music and food. It's Mara, man. I enjoy the world very much. If anybody here knows me, you know that. I am no asceticism. I do not teach asceticism, but neither am I fooled. Don't be fooled by the shiny lights and the extra dose of oxygen that just is there to get you to open your wallet and place more bets. No. How can you tell when the smell you've got is coated in manure? You have to settle down. You have to stop. And I mean that literally. You have got to stop and you have to settle down. And you have to quit running after or away from anything. You're not chasing, you're not getting, you're not fixing, you're not managing, you're not correcting, you're not amplifying, you're not adding, you're not subtracting. Try being. You may well find it intolerable. In fact, it's quite likely at first. We have as our subject of Ango, in light of our lay Shuso practitioner. We take up the teachings, the holy teachings of Vimalakirti and those of layman Pong. These two sources, one from the Sanskrit tradition, the Vimalakirti Sutra, firmly in the Prajnaparamita literature, firmly in the Mahayana, drips and oozes with the Indic beauty. And Pong, well, no nonsense right here. I cut you. It's a good balance. They play nicely together, actually. Now, in our community, for those who extend themselves so far as to become members, which takes some doing, there's a practice that we have called Sangha circles, which you may not have heard of. And for those who haven't, briefly, it's a practice where community members who are practicing members, and again, this is not automatic, it takes a little doing to get there, but those who are actually in the mandala of practice are able to gather in an ordered way in different Sangha members' homes. And during these periods of intensive training we call Ango, they'll gather once a month for 3 months, and there's a guided reading that's on the topic of the Ango, and people discuss and have fun and hang out without the teachers looking at them. So it's a good thing. I do not have listening devices, or there are no moles reporting back. It's a teacher-free space, such as it is. And you get to see other people's houses. That's cool. So it really does. It brings a nice, it's a beautiful way to connect with other Sangha members, and it's a beautiful way to have, organized Dharma conversation. And this particular one that starts tomorrow, some of them do, there's been selected a little chunk of the Vimalakirti Sutra I'd like to read to you, and you'll see how this all fits. The setup I neglected to bring with me, but it's the opening chapter. And mind you now, Vimalakirti is a person, okay? And this person is very much viewed to be an emanation, an incarnation, an aspect of the Nirmanakaya of the Buddha, okay? Therefore, Vimalakirti is a living embodiment of the highest teaching, a living, breathing, walking vehicle for the highest teaching of the Buddha to interface, a human expression of the highest Dharma out there that can be interacted with. Therefore, everything that Vimalakirti does is completely drenched in the Bodhisattva vow and completely an expression of upaya, of skillful means, helping to liberate all beings. And believe me, if this sounds fanciful and far out, this is another description of you. You could be this. You are this. Whether it's realized or manifested, that's another matter altogether. But this is your true nature. This is your true self. So, in describing the bodhisattvas who were in attendance to hear the teachings, we get the following. This is talking about the assembly who had gathered to hear the Dharma. Their mindfulness, intelligence, realization, meditation, incantation, and eloquence all were perfected. They were free of all obscurations and all emotional clinging, living in liberation with no impediment. The bodhisattvas so gathered were totally dedicated through the transcendences of generosity, restraint, unwaveringness, and sincere morality, tolerance, effort, meditation, wisdom, skill in the techniques of liberating suffering beings, commitment, power, and transcendental knowledge. They had all attained the intuitive tolerance of the ultimate incomprehensibility of all things. That's the band you're playing with. That's who's in the house. That's who you're rocking with, okay? These are those who came to hear the Buddha teach the Dharma. I don't need to practice, I got this together. No, do you? Is that so? So let's look at it. Mindfulness, okay? Mindfulness is being able to smell poo and know that it's poo. Mindfulness is being able to smell nourishment and know that it's nourishment, and to be able to tell the difference. Mindfulness is to be able to be in contact with experience, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, feelings, thoughts, the whole anything. And to be able to know, is this wholesome? Is this not wholesome? And by wholesome, I do not mean adhering to some externally imposed purity code. No, I don't mean that. I was about to flash a crude mudra. Feeling my wife's gaze, I restrain. Oh, I want to flash the mudra though. No, it's not good enough. Even if, let's just speculate, and this is not how this works, but speculate that there was some code, okay, some sheet that came from outside you because Buddha said, or Vimalakirti said, or something like this, and all you have to do is just give up your free will and follow the little sheet. Don't do it. Why? Because it's not yours. It's not coming from your own power. It's not coming from your own volition, your own experience. Happily, fortunately, grown-up pants can actually be put on when we talk about morality, and they ought to be. Being able to smell poo as poo and say, this is pooful, and I'm not pooing around anymore. I'm done with the poo. Clean your nose. Put on fresh clothes. Know the difference. You know what I'm talking about. When you get in the grip of something that's not good for you, when you're in the belly of it, it presents as though it is. Do you know what I'm saying? There's this deal. Now, part of you kind of always knows, yeah, not really, but you buy it anyway. And you get acclimated to it, and you convince yourself that it doesn't matter. And after all, I'm young. I'll be young forever. No one's watching. It doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Actually, when no one's watching, perhaps it matters the most. What goes through your mind when you finally lay down to bed at night matters. I'm very concerned that people are unconsciously giving up all these little micro free moments to the devices. You know, on the potty, before you go to bed, as soon as you wake up, as you eat, all the time. All the time, plugging your mental umbilical cord into this thing that does not have your interests in mind. It has your wallet in mind. I have a smartphone, I use it, but don't trade your life for it. Smells pooful. Methinks not. Better to be bored for a few minutes. Really feel the texture of that boredom. Is it sharp? Is it soft? What does it smell like? Is it hot? Is the boredom cold? Where is it in your body? Where is it in your mind? Where did this boredom come from? Who is it that's perceiving this feeling of boredom? Their mindfulness, their intelligence. This is interesting. You have to be smart about your Dharma practice. You do. And I mean in a street smart kind of way. It's very easy to go feral or to get wacky. It just is. You have to be smart. And one of the smartest things you can realize is you are not the smartest one in the room. Or if you are, you need to get a bigger room. You need to get connected with people that know what they're doing. Right? People whose lives are working, lives are workable, whose practice is tangibly landing, durably. I'm so grateful that you've had this incredible Kensho and you're ready to teach the world, and you're 19. You need to live a little, maybe a lot. Okay? It's very interesting. One of the foundational stories in the DNA of our tradition is Huineng, another layman, really, illiterate kid, had some deep insight, sought the master, got connected, had their awareness confirmed, received the robe, and then go now and live for at least another 12, 14 years or so. Don't teach before you've done that. Why? Because you have to live, you have to integrate. So be smart about your practice. There's a time when you just need to go all in. There's a time when you need to know how to be smart about allocating the assets of your time wisely. There's time when you need to push the barriers. There's time when you need to really take care of your body. And no one outside you can give you the spreadsheet of how to do that, because every one of us has got our own ever-changing mix of these things. So for as much structure as there is, you're on your own. That's always true. Mindful, know the difference between poo and nutrition. Intelligence, be smart about your practice. Do not coddle yourself out of serious training. Don't just keep throwing your head against the wall. The wall's not going to get hurt. You are. Realization. This is realizing what's already there. It's not creating or fabricating or hallucinating or speculating. It's realizing the sound, realizing the sights, realizing the smells, the tastes, the touch, the feelings, the thoughts, as the cosmos itself, now expressing as a helicopter, as an ache in the knee. Meditation, the arts of Zazen itself, knowing how to do this sitting business. This is serious. It's a skill. It's a discipline. You have to give yourself the gift of learning how to do this. You have to forge it. You're not just going to fall out of bed and land there. Incantation. Interesting. Spiritual powers. Knowing what they really are and how they really function. What actually matters. Hint, it's all about alleviating suffering. It's all an expression of and has its source in the bodhicitta mind of attaining full and complete awakening for the sake of all beings. Anything else is just kids' toys. And eloquence. Particularly, dear one, eloquence with the way you talk to yourself, please. Be kind to yourself, but also don't take crap from yourself. Which self, after all, is it that you're talking to? They were free of all obscurations and emotional clinging. Obscurations is karmic habit energy patterns, things that obscure the inherent perfection. Emotional attachments and clinging, this can really derail you. It's not that you don't have emotions, but it's freedom from the attachment and relentless addiction to the ride of them. Living in liberation without impediment. They were totally dedicated through generosity, and here we get the list of the paramitas. We voice them in our tradition this way: the practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. Totally dedicated in these ways. And then finally, and this is the kicker, they had attained the intuitive tolerance for the ultimate incomprehensibility of all things. Last little bit, let's just linger on this line, okay, because it matters. They had attained, and you have to attain this. This is a hard one. Okay? You're not going to get this by just reading about it and thinking about it a little bit. You have to really realize this in the marrow of your bones, and you can. But it is an attainment. Yes, there's nothing to attain, I know, but you have to attain this to be able to credibly say that. Okay? They have attained the intuitive tolerance. Intuitive here means Dharma eye. Okay, the intuitive mind, the Dharma eye mind. They had attained the Dharma eye affinity. The Dharma eye has to open you. It's not enough to just understand it or to feel good about it. You actually have to have your Dharma eye open and have Buddha affinity. The word we hear here is tolerance. It's workable, but really it's realizing affinity with the ultimate incomprehensibility of everything, including the Dharma eye's affinity. the whole thing. What does it mean to be a mystic? To be a saint? To be a true sage, a saint of the great way? I guarantee you it's not what first probably comes to mind. This line here is pointing directly there. Getting that Dharma eye open and functioning, attaining it, working with it, and durably so. It's not enough to just kind of flash it open and close, like if you try this as a concluding experiment. Close your eyes for a second, okay? And actually, if you really want to go there, close your eyes and put your hands over them so it's really dark, okay? And just let it be there for a second. And then when I give the clue, what I want you to do is open your eyes really, really fast and then close them up again, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go, and then close them. Okay, now you see how there's like a burned image that you have in your mind's eye? You see that? It's like a little mental snapshot of it. You can now open your eyes again. You don't look grief-stricken. Okay, the Dharma eye does things like that sometimes when you're initially in your training. The Dharma eyes, this is all by analogy, by the way. Okay, don't misread me here. But the experience is something like that. There's a flash of something, and you're left with an impression, and your mind races to capture that impression, and you want to make a painting of it, and you want to document it and permanentize it and put it on an altar and make votives to it or make it as a badge that you show your friends. And you need to not do that, because the flash is only alive for that instant of perception. After that, it's dead. Okay? And this takes training, but it's doable. You get to where that eye is open, and you know the difference between what you're seeing right now compared to just, imagine your eye just flashed open once every 24 hours. What your experience of life would be like. Okay? It is not enough to say, oh, I think I had a Kensho way back in college when I was dropping a little acid, and it was really good. And no. Let's just give that you did. It's not enough. That's not it. Okay? You need to attain the full opening of the intuitive Dharma eye. That does what? That recognizes the complete mystery and unknowability of all things and loves it. In fact, sees it as love. Realizes the great mystery as compassion and love itself, manifesting everywhere. It doesn't need you to go around fixing everything. It needs you to be able to realize it, appreciate it, and give it away. So, this precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that you, dear one, in this moment have life and opportunity with all the prerequisites done, may you and may I and may all beings practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. May it be so. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. The illusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end
them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Thank you all so much for being here this morning.